Hello YouTubers, it's Championdjk coming at you again with another video, and today I've got a Schuko feature for you. I've got a bunch of models straight from Germany, from Schuko. You can order these right on Schuko's website. These came courtesy of my good buddy Tor Eric Baki. Thank you very much again for hooking me, Crazy Todd, and Shresh up with a bunch of these Schuko models. Just paid one flat shipping rate and got to ship them all to him, and then he dispersed them to me. But anyway, so what do we got? We've got Schuko. Now this is going to be in lieu of Schuko coming to the US. Right now these are only available overseas. There will be Schuko coming out in the U.S. via Miho Toys and be available to, more accessible to the U.S. market. So, in lieu of that, let's take a look at some Schuko cars. I've got a bunch to show you, so this is probably going to get to be a long video. I've got probably a dozen or so vehicles to go through, and I'm going to open them all on camera for you. This first one is the VW Golf GTI. By the way, how they're packaged: they're in this box that has a window. It opens on one side fairly easily. The cardboard is of a good quality. It's thick. It's got a nice sheen to the printing, and it looks very nice. So this is the Golf GTI. I believe this is a new casting from Schuko. I don't know if they ever put this up before. Someone who knows a lot about these, definitely give me a comment and let me know. So here is the first car we are going to look at. The Golf GTI. So go ahead and zoom in and take a look. It is in silver. It looks very nice in silver. It is very detailed. All right, so in general with these models, they are metal body, metal base cars. The base is metal. They are screwed together, construction, and they roll pretty good. They have rubber tires. I'm guessing that they are true to 1/64 scale, and that will be more apparent the further we go along here. But here it is. Here's your Golf GTI. Just for comparison, I did bring out a Kyosho Golf GTI. Well, this is actually a Solido Golf GTI, but it is the same tooling as the Kyosho model, so you can kind of see similarities here. They both have lens details up front for the headlights. They both have some painted details. Now the Kyosho has a plastic base as opposed to a metal base, so it's a lot lighter weight. Both of these models are very, very nice, and I wouldn't really recommend one over the other, but they both look really, really good. And the shape of the model itself is a little bit different between the two, as you can kind of see there with them next to each other. But both of them are very, very cool. So I just brought that up for a reference. They're basically the exact same length, so probably both pretty close to actual 1/64 scale. So there is the Golf GTI. So the next one we're going to take a look at is the Land Rover Defender. And I'm just going to pull that out of the package here while we're still looking at the Golf GTI. And go ahead and unscrew it from the base. And take a quick look. Here it is, the Land Rover Defender. This one has been released previous to this in a white color. I don't know if it was released in any other colors, but it is a really nice casting. Again, you got metal base, metal body. You got a full-size spare here in the back that is rubber, and it matches the wheels in the front. That is very cool. Lens detail up front. Got some detail in the back too. Not lens, but you do get that full-size spare. You got these mud flaps down here. Just overall a very good looking casting. Kind of an odd color, being it is that weird kind of minty green color, but still very cool. So while we're looking at that one, I'm opening up the next one, which is the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. I suppose we don't really need to look at packaging anymore because you only all the packaging, by the way, is basically the identical. So here is the Benz. Very cool Mercedes-Benz 300 SL in silver. Very, very nice. You get lens detail in the back. Looking pretty good there. It's a little off with the detailing, but looks pretty good. And then you get lens detail up front, which looks very good. I should say the price point of these was about like 14 euros, I believe, or so. Somewhere in there. So with a varying exchange rate, you're looking at about like 12 bucks, 10 bucks, somewhere in there, 10, 12, 14 bucks a model is how much these things cost. And then shipping, of course, from overseas can be expensive, but still pretty reasonable for what you get. These are all metal constructions. Again, they're like Kyosho basically with a metal base. They're not quite Tomica Limited vintage quality maybe, but they are pretty darn close to that, being that they're all metal. They don't have any suspension, of course, but they roll. They've got rubber tires, and they're quite cool. All right, so there's that one. The next one is another Mercedes-Benz. This is the 200D. This is a really cool one. First, when I saw pictures of this one on the website, I didn't think the color looked very cool, but in person, the color of this car does look pretty neat. So you get some lens detail up front, little hood ornament there, lens detail in the back. Again, you get metal body, metal base, and a pretty cool looking car. And then I've got another one that is another 200D, but this one's in a Polizei livery. And that would be this one right here. Green and white. Very dark green. And it looks awesome. So they just added, basically, besides the obvious like printing that they added a little cherry on top, well, a blue light up top, and that's all they had to do to make this the police model. Just add that and some printing on the side, and I think it looks really good. So again, these models are very robust, very heavy metal models. They're 1/64 scale. As far as I know, they're probably pretty close to true 1/64 scale, and they are pretty darn cool. The next one we're going to take a look at is the Citroen, which is this kind of oddball one. This is a Citroen. Citroen is a, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, probably butchering it. Very interesting little car. So this one in some 007 livery. I don't know what the significance of this is, why they would put 007 livery on this car. It almost looks like a taxi, being yellow and black. If someone knows, just let me know in the comments down below. I'm sure. I'm not a big movie buff, and therefore not a big James Bond movie buff, but it's got bullet holes in the back, bullet holes on the side. So my guess is it has some significance to the movie series that I am unaware of. But pretty neat nonetheless. Sticking with movie cars, let's do this. This is sort of a movie car. This one comes courtesy of Suresh, who he ordered this model but is letting me open it. And that is this one right here. It's a VW bus in like a Herbie livery. So it comes in that with a Herbie livery and pretty fair amount of detail. So you got the lens detail up front. You got some painted detail in the back. Again, it's metal on metal and looks really good as such. And then there's also a VW Beetle to match it. The Love Bug. This one does have I think it does, yeah. It's got some lens inserts for the taillights as well as the headlights. And that signature kind of red, white, blue stripe down the center. And those kind of make a good pair, I would say. Very, very cool. Again, both of these are good rollers. Quite fantastic. So there is those two. And then we'll take a look at this Mini Cooper. This one also comes courtesy of Suresh. This is another one that he ordered. And that is this little itty bitty Mini Cooper. That thing is cool. Alright, so it's really tiny. See how little that car is? Maybe if we compare it to the Land Rover, you can kind of get an idea. It's a bit of a trick of perspective there, but very, very tiny. In person, this thing is super tiny. So you gotta wonder, is that truly 1/64 scale? I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing it's pretty close. Is the actual Mini Cooper actually that much smaller than a Volkswagen Beetle? Is the old one that much smaller than it? Someone who really knows these cars and should let me know in the comments down below, but I think it's got to be pretty close to 1/64 scale. And I'm guessing that the Beetle is pretty small, but this might be a little bit smaller. But then again, this bus just looks small compared to the Beetle, so I don't know if all their castings are 1/64 scale, but this thing sure looks tiny. So, and then speaking of tiny cars, this one is just hilarious. This is the BMW Isetta. And I'm just unscrewing it from the base here. This is just a funny little diecast vehicle. Look at that. Look at that thing. I actually like having this thing. This is Suresh's too. Having this thing, Todd I think ordered one of these as well. But having this thing kind of makes me want to actually get one of these. They're just so tiny and hilarious. I remember seeing these at car shows as a kid and thinking, wow, that is a hilarious little car. I think, did they originally? Yeah, they do have 4 wheels. But it is metal body, metal base. It is super tiny. My finger compared to it. Look at the Mercedes compared to it. It's like a little go-kart. But super tiny and pretty cool. Rolls good. That is just a cute little car. Alright, so moving on from that, the next one is a Porsche 956 Carrera 2. Let's open that one up. I'm screwing it from the base. So, a nice classic Porsche. The 356. And here it is. Painted detail in the back. You got lens detail up front. Of course, metal body, metal base. Heavy model though, even though it's very, very small. So it's about the length of this Volkswagen Beetle. So it's probably pretty accurate. To 1/64 scale. And it's just very nice and robustly built. All of these cars are very robustly built. Alright, so the last one of the new ones I've got, and then I'm going to go through some of the collection I've already had, or the few Schuko that I've already had in my collection. And we'll take a look at those two just so you can get a full kind of idea of the breadth of the assortment that is offered by Schuko. So you got that guy right there. Very, very cool. And then this guy right here. So I'm going to have to back up just a little bit because it's tall. Adjust the camera a little bit. And there it is. This is a VW T3 camper. And it is pretty awesome in brown. This is another one that comes courtesy of Suresh. He ordered this one. I kind of wish I would have. I did not. The only reason why I didn't, though, and this one is very heavy, by the way. The top is plastic. The camper bit is plastic. But, of course, the rest of this thing is metal, solid metal. The only reason why I didn't order this one is because I already have a T3 from Schuco, and it's this one in green without the camper top. And I think the one in green is very cool too. So they have a couple different versions of this T3 that they've done. They're all very nice. They all have that lens detail in the front. They have the lens detail in the back. Just very detailed, very heavy, robustly built toolings, and just really quite awesome. So that one's Suresh's. The green one is mine, and then we'll take a look at a couple more ones that I already had, such as this Audi R8. So they do kind of, a weird range of, eclectic range of cars, from the Isetta to an Audi R8. This Audi R8 is pretty nice. It is a very matte black. It's got a fair amount of detail. Again, it's metal on metal. It's screwed together. It's got lens detail up front. It's got lens detail in the back. It's not the most exciting supercar that there is out there, but they did a pretty good job with this one. So, can't complain. And then I've got another one here. This is actually the first, I think this is the first Schuko that ever entered my collection, is this Porsche right here. This came from Friesen's Diecast. It is a Porsche Boxster S convertible. And it is very cool. You got lens detail up front, lens detail in the back. It's metal on metal, per usual. Rubber tires. It's a good roller. Very, very nice. I like the build philosophy of this brand. I definitely do. It's got a good amount of realism. And it's all metal, so it feels very heavy. They all roll. The majority of them have lens details in both the front and the back for headlights and taillights. We got another Porsche casting here. This one I got from Heavy Metal 164 back in the day. This was the second Schuko ever to enter my collection. That's a pretty cool one too. I've actually got this casting in two colors. So here's the red one with black wheels. Again, it's got a good amount of detail. It's a heavy casting. And then I got it in blue with silver wheels. Very cool. So they are coming out with some Porsche 911s. They already had them out. I just didn't. I don't have an example of it, but they're coming out with those in the Miho release. I recommend you check that out. You can go to Miho's website, I think, to check out the picture of what's coming. I think there's been a few other people that have posted what's coming for that Schuko release. I don't know when hobby dealers are going to start to get them. I pre-ordered, I think, a couple of them, and I can't wait for them to hit, and those are going to be more accessible here in the U.S. market. So that's pretty exciting, considering their tooling catalog. I hope they start to make some more stuff. I think, now I don't know for sure, I can't tell you for sure, but I want to say that this Golf is a new tooling. I don't know what else is new or old from Schuko. I know they don't put out new stuff, I don't think, too often. So, in 1/64 scale, but they do make a lot of other scale die cast. I think more they're into like the 1/43 stuff, the larger scale. But they do put out some 1/64. This is a really sweet one. Very, very cool. It's kind of hard. If you forget which color I got it in, it's kind of hard to tell the Schuko and the Kyosho apart until you pick one up, because the Schuko is way heavier. But both of them are very nice models. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I just wanted to basically go over these with you. Let me know what your favorite tooling is that we've looked at here in this video. Let me know if Schuco interests you at all. Is it a brand that you're into? Did you know about them? Did you not know about them? I mean, I think they've been in business for a long time. It's just they haven't been in the 164 scale market for, I don't think, too long. And when they were in it, they haven't really put out too much. Pretty sure the Mini Cooper's an older one. So a lot of these are newer, I think, liveries or designs for toolings. Like this just came out, I believe, like this. But not necessarily new toolings. That's a really cool one, that Merc. So very, very awesome. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I dig them. I'm always into the premium diecast stuff. I mean, I like anything that's detailed and it's got a lot of realistic qualities to it. And it's nice that they're built nice and they're built, you know, all metal, and they just got a really good build quality and seems to be a very good quality control as well. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite out of this batch. Gosh, I really like that Porsche though. That Porsche is really nice. The Merc is really nice. They're all pretty. They all hold their own. All right, so that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you very much. I know I said that like 3 times, but that's really 4 times gonna be it for this video. So thank you guys very much. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my playlist. Check out my sponsor, MassCarDisplays.com. Enter the promo code Champion for 10% off your display case order. Definitely recommend it. It'll probably fit all of these toolings. And yeah, that's going to be it. I'm out. Thank you. Bye.